She walked quietly into the lecture hall, a simple woman in a gray cardigan. At 37, she looked out of place among the graduate students at Texas State University, but she wasn't here to impress anyone. She was here to learn. At the podium stood Professor Richard Harrington, silver beard, sharp suit, and sharper arrogance. Renowned mathematician, department head, and infamous for cutting down anyone he deemed unworthy. His gaze flicked to Sarah and lingered with thinly veiled disdain. As the symposium began, Sarah listened intently, jotting notes. During the break, 2 students whispered, "Who's the cleaning lady taking notes?" One laughed. "Probably auditing for fun. Harrington hates outsiders." Sarah said nothing, gripping her notebook tighter. When Harrington presented his controversial approach to a major equation, Sarah instantly noticed a flaw. Against her better judgment, her hand rose. "Yes?" Harrington's voice dripped with condescension. "Wouldn't the variable transformation in step 4 cause inconsistencies?" she asked quietly. The room froze. "Your name?" Harrington demanded. "Sarah Mitchell. And your department?" "I work in facilities management." Whispers erupted. Harrington smiled cruelly. "Facilities? And you believe you found a flaw in my work?" Heat rushed to Sarah's cheeks. "Not a flaw, just a complication." "Perhaps." Harrington cut her off. "You should focus on pursuits more accessible." Laughter rippled through the room. Sarah shrank back, wishing she hadn't spoken. But Harrington wasn't finished. "Since Ms. Mitchell is so confident, why not demonstrate?" He gestured to the blackboard. The hall went silent. Every instinct told Sarah to refuse, but years of being dismissed and underestimated pushed her forward. She took the chalk. Harrington scrawled a difficult equation on the board. "Show us." Sarah's hand trembled at first, but as she began to write, the familiar rhythm of numbers steadied her. Within minutes, she finished cleanly. Harrington checked her work, his smugness cracking. It was flawless. "That's correct," he admitted stiffly, then quickly erased the board. "Let's try something more advanced." He wrote a cutting-edge equation from his own research, certain it would overwhelm her. Sarah studied it, doubt gnawing at her. She didn't recognize the notation. Harrington smirked, reaching for the chalk. "Wait." Sarah's voice was steady now. A connection clicked in her mind. Something she'd read late at night on a library computer. Slowly at first, then with growing confidence, she worked through the problem. The hall leaned in, stunned as she found a pathway forward. Dr. Elizabeth Chen, a visiting MIT professor, sat forward in her seat. "She's using the Takahashi method," she whispered to a colleague. "That paper was published only last month." But Sarah hadn't read the journal. She wasn't reciting. She was seeing. Gasps filled the room as she collapsed barriers with elegant substitutions, cutting through the problem in ways even Harrington hadn't considered. His color drained as he traced one transformation. "Where did you learn this?" he demanded. Sarah met his eyes. "I didn't. I just saw it." When she wrote the final step and boxed the solution, silence thundered in the hall. Then applause erupted, spreading like wildfire. Students rose to their feet. Professors snapped photos of her work. Dr. Chen approached the board. "This isn't just correct, it's brilliant. Ms. Mitchell, do you have more work like this?" Sarah hesitated. "Notebooks, just things I do at night." "Notebooks?" Harrington echoed, struggling between pride and disbelief. "Number theory, prime factorization," Sarah admitted. Dr. Chen's eyes widened. "That's cryptography. I want to see them, immediately." By the end of the day, Sarah was no longer invisible. What began as humiliation had become revelation. She had stepped out of the shadows into undeniable brilliance. 6 months later, Sarah stood at the front of a new classroom. Not as a guest, not as the cleaning lady, but as a lecturer. Her gray cardigan sleeves rolled up, she wrote equations on the board with steady hands. Her life had transformed. Fellowships, publications, a seat at the table she had once been barred from. Her daughter, Lily, now studied at the university too, inspired by her mother's courage. Looking out at her students, Sarah noticed a hesitant young woman raise her hand. Sarah smiled gently. "Never be afraid to ask your question," she said. "It might change everything, not just for you, but for everyone." Because sometimes the greatest minds aren't found in lecture halls, they're cleaning them. Until the day they finally step into the light.